Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365 will transform your Microsoft 365 experience. It does so by enhancing a number of applications in Microsoft 365, such as Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and Teams. In this tutorial here today, I want to show you how it will enhance each of these applications for you to make a more productive workflow as you go throughout your day. Hi, I'm Jamie, and welcome to Teachers Tech. It's great to have you here today. So if you take a look at the background, you can see that I'm logged into Copilot for Microsoft 365. I went to copilot.microsoft.com, logged in with my 365 account, and then I'm logged in. If you take a look at the top, I can just toggle if I want to be in work or web. I'm going to come back to this later to show you the great things that you can do to really make things more efficient for you using this logged into your 365 account. But I want to start with the apps, and I want to start with Microsoft Outlook to show you by using Copilot how you can do things so much more efficiently. If you're wondering what prompts to try in Copilot, I'm going to put a link to this page, which is the Copilot Lab, down below in the description. This will give you lots of great ideas what to try in Copilot, and then you can look for a specific app and then look through categories to help you to know what to ask. Here I am in the new Microsoft Outlook. You can see how I have it toggled on up top. I'm going to show you a few different things that you can do with Copilot. First of all, let's go ahead and just start a new mail. Notice as soon as I do this right in here, I can draft with Copilot just by going to here and hitting the /. Now I can choose this and what do I want to say? So this is where you could put into it what you want it to create for an email. So I can give it some general information about a project, maybe give them some date. I'm not really worried about formatting. Now I can go and pick what I want this to be from a tone. I could even make it a poem. What do I want for short, medium, long? You choose. Then you just go ahead and hit generate and it will go and craft that. Just because it crafts it doesn't mean you can't change it. It's just a draft at this moment. So here it is, right through here, it wrote this email. Do you want to keep it, discard it, anything you want to change or regenerate? So if you like it, just go ahead and keep it, add who it's to, and then send it away. So do you ever get in a thread of an email that you haven't read yet and you have all these different emails and you don't really want to go through them? Well, with Copilot, you can do a summary. All you have to do is click here and it's going to go through and create this summary. And what I really like is that it will show you what email it's from. So if I click on the number, it will bring up that email. So this can save you a lot of time by using Summary by Copilot in Outlook. You want to make quick replies? Well, use Copilot. So if I go ahead and just reply to one of these messages, notice now at the very bottom, it gives me some suggestions right here that I can go ahead and choose. Now I can also go back to custom and do what I did before to generate that response. Let's say you got a little impatient with the group and you wrote an email like this one that wasn't very tactful and probably you shouldn't send. What you can do in Copilot, if you go up to the top here, try using the Coaching by Copilot. So if I click on Coaching by Copilot, it's going to analyze the email. So maybe you want to write it yourself, but the coach will give you some help in what maybe you should or shouldn't send. So take a look at this. It noticed right away that probably instead of disappointed, the email should be saying concerned. It's still keeping kind of the points that I have, but it's making it a much better email to send to a group that you won't regret. So take a look at coaching before you send any emails. So now I've switched over to Microsoft Word to show you how Copilot can work in it. Now I'm in the app right now installed on my computer, but I want to point out, so here's Copilot here, and you can see the chat is up top. But if I go over to the online version, I can access it as well. I just have to be in the right account that has the 365 Copilot on it. So there's the chat in here. I'm just going to be showing you from the app that's installed on my computer, and let's start with getting it to generate just something for us. So if I go to this right here where I see Copilot, and notice I can use the shortcut as well. But if I just click on it here, I can do at this point, describe what you'd like to write. So you can do a number of different things. If you're used to using any AI before, you can do this right within Word now. So if I just ask it, write me an essay about NFL football, I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. So it completed the essay. And if you take a look at it, it's a short essay. If it's not what you like, you can go ahead and regenerate it and you'll get another essay. I could discard it or I could keep it. Very similar to Microsoft Outlook. Now, if I wanted to make sure to add something else to it, I could add something like references. So if I go here and just go cite and add references. So now if I go and hit the arrow to generate, it will go through and take what I said and add that to it. Now at the end of the essay, notice that I have these references right in here added to it. So you can go through and tweak after you've created it. Once you hit keep it, like I will right now, this becomes a normal document. It's not in draft anymore. If you want to do any more updates, you need to go to the ribbon and use the Copilot one right here. So now at this point, you can go through and keep making any changes to this. But now you can have a conversation with this as well. So here are some things that you could do. Now I'm just going to keep open this document that I've already started, but I could go ahead and open up another Word document. And if that was the case, I would open up Copilot here as well. But I could say, sum up the key points. So if I go ahead and do this, I could hit send and it will sum up the key points of this document. You can see how this would be particularly handy if you have a long document and you just want to see the key points on it. Now it went through and on the side you can see all the main ideas are in it. Now you could go do other things too. You could say summarize this document and just ask questions about this. But remember, once it becomes a normal document, to go over to the Copilot and have a conversation with it. Here I am on a blank Microsoft Word document. I can also ask it to do external things as well. So let's go ahead and this time, let's use the microphone. We're going to ask it to find the recipe for a Black Forest cake. Can you provide me a recipe for a classic Black Forest cake? And I'll go ahead and send that. Now here we go with the recipe that it found here. And then you'll notice that we have a copy that I can copy to the clipboard and then just paste it over here in the document to place it. Here's my last tip for using Copilot in Microsoft Word. This time we're going to go and we're going to reference a file. So if I go and click on reference a file, this time I'm picking steps for successful fundraising. This needs to be saved in my OneDrive for this. So I'm selecting this one. What do I want to have happen? Well, I want it to write me a speech. So it's going to be writing me a speech based on this document. So I can go ahead and hit generate. And it's going to go through, comb through that file, and then do what I asked by creating a speech. So here we have our speech now. You can see, hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. And it took the information from that document. Just remember, the document can't be on your personal computer. It needs to be within OneDrive so then that you can connect it that way to pull it in. Let's move on to the next one. And we're going to take a look at Microsoft PowerPoint and how Copilot can help you. You're going to love Copilot in Microsoft PowerPoint. Let's take a look at this. I just have one slide blank so far, just went and started it. If I go to Copilot now, notice that when it comes up, it's going to ask me, here's some things to try. All this is really going to do is start the prompt for me down below. For an example, let's go ahead and create a presentation. And it just puts that down there in the prompt area. Now I can add to it. Let's say we want to make a slideshow on outdoor activities. And I'm going to say hiking, camping, water sports, and biking. And I'm going to go ahead and hit send. So now it's going to create a presentation based on those topics, that criteria that I gave it. So here we go. We have our slideshow with those different topics that I told it to put in. It makes a point about saying designer. Designer is also up here. Designer is a quick way to change any of these slides. So if I click on designer, you notice if I click on any of these, how it changes in a hurry with that same information. But you can adjust it and get the look exactly what you want. Now I can still use Copilot to adjust any slide. So if I wanted to add something, so I can add a slide about if it's going to be something else, let's say specifically it's going to be about fishing. So now it's going to go and add this to it. Now I have an extra slide in here. So you can start with an idea, but still keep adding on after the fact. Now let's go ahead and just do one more blank one. And I'm going to go to Copilot, and this time we can go from a document, just like we did in Microsoft Word. If we say create from a presentation, maybe you've written out your notes and you want to have a presentation created on this. So if I use that same file again, remember this has to be in OneDrive. It can't be on your computer. And I send this, it's going to go ahead and create a presentation from those notes. So here we go. It created this slideshow based on the notes that it had. And I want to point out, if I just move this up here, notice that there's notes underneath that can help you with the presentation as well. Add more as you want, just like I showed you before. Have that conversation with Copilot to get your presentation just as you need it. All right, let's move over to Microsoft Excel now. Now I'm in Microsoft Excel, and take a look at Copilot. Notice that this is grayed out. I can't use it. That's because right now this file is saved on my computer. I need to upload this. So if I go up, and I'm just going to go to click up top, and I'm going to click upload. I'm going to upload it to my 365 account, and you're going to see as soon as I do this, we now have Copilot. So if I click on Copilot, now I can get the prompts from it and start having the conversation to analyze this data and pull it out. The first thing is I need to convert this to a table. So Copilot will look at this once it's converted to a table. If I look right now, these things are grayed out. Now I can ask it to convert right through here, or I could do it the way I know, but let's use Copilot. So let's just hit convert. And now it converted this all into a table. And if I look up to the prompts, the suggestions ones that it can help, add formulas and columns, highlight, sort and filter, analyze, they're all available. And I can go ahead and just ask it a question. Let's go ahead and resize this a bit here. So I'm just going to stretch this out so it's a little bit larger. Let's start with a very simple prompt here, and it's just going to be format column D, NE, and dollars. I just want to point out that you can use this to format your sheets. So we'll send that to them, and they'll just go through and add dollar signs to these two different columns. And that's an easy way to use Copilot. It made the updates over here, and it showed me what it did with the ranges that it selected. Now I could go up to the very top and work from these prompts where that helps me to analyze and sort and filter, and I could click on these, or I could ask it my own question. So if I go and ask it this question right here. So if I say, what is the average sales revenue per product? And let's go ahead and send this. And here was the response, the average sales revenue per product as follows, and it breaks it down here. Now, if I go up a little bit, we have a chart that it created that I can add to this. So if I go through and if I like the chart that it has here, I can go add to new sheet. And then here it is. Here's the different widgets on this side, and here's the chart. Now, if I go back to the sheet over here, I can still keep digging into more things. It even always suggests more things. So total sales revenue by products as column chart. Notice if I go ahead and refresh this, it will come up with different ideas that it can help me what I might be looking for. So what's something else we could ask for? Let's try this. Show me the sales trends by the month. After it goes through, here's another chart that it created. Units sold by sales revenue here appear highly correlated. I could add this to my sheet, and then I can even say, can I see another insight? Add insights to the grid. So it can adapt very quickly to what the data that it's finding. Let's see now if it can add a column and make a formula for us. So I'm going to ask it, add a column that will give us a 5% bonus of total sales revenue if units sold are over 5. So if this is over 5, it's going to add 5% to the total. Let's see what happens. So now it's going to go through and it's going to give me the formula that's needed. And if I agree with this, I can insert the column. And as I hover over it, notice how it shows it there before I even click insert. So now I'm going to go ahead and click insert. I have that new column added. And I can go a little bit further and see insights from this column that I added. And one last thing I just want to point out is you can use this to sort and filter your data. So if you go ahead and use this, it's going to suggest what you might want. Go through, refresh, and find out. Unless you know exactly what you want, you can go ahead and type that. But let's go find the bottom 3 products by total sales units sold. Here we go. It went through and filtered and sorted this out, where I can go now and just click it, add it to a new sheet, and I have that data separated. So definitely take advantage of Copilot in Microsoft Excel to analyze and get the information you want and to visualize your data. Now I'm in Microsoft Teams, just in one of my test teams that I demo things on. And under one of the channels, I'm just going to go and start a post. And when this happens, I want to point out, here's Copilot. So if I go and write something, anything, and I click on Copilot, we get some options. We can rewrite, we can adjust. So if we want to make it concise, longer, casual, professional, we can go through. Very similar to the email and Outlook that I showed you before. So in a conversation, you can use it back and forth. The other place, if we go to chat here, you're going to notice that we have Copilot at this point. So this is where we have easy access to it. What do you want to use it for? Do you want it to write requests for a proposal? Give me a bullet list. And these are suggestions here. You can ask it work questions and you can reference people and files and more. So here's an example. If I go ahead and put this in, what has Ashton been up to? Let's see what it gives back. It went through now based on what the prompt was, found different things that Ashton was connected to. So whether it be emails or a file or projects, and then it has these numbers. So I can go ahead and click on the numbers to see where they're referencing it to. And then if I click on it, it will go whether it be to that file or that email. One last place in Microsoft Teams I want to show you where you'll find Copilot is if we go up and let's say we create a new meeting here. And I'll just keep everything just as it is and hit join now. Once this meeting starts, and I'm going to have to add some people, we'll add participants, but we'll notice that there is Copilot here. So if I click on Copilot, what it can do is analyze the transcript of what's happened. Notice right now transcription needs to be turned on for Copilot to do its thing. You can turn this on just under the admin and then you'll be able to record. So even if someone came in late, someone could ask, give me a recap of the meeting, and then Copilot can go through the transcript and give it to them. So just another place that you're going to find Copilot in Microsoft Teams. I just want to touch on a couple other Microsoft 365 apps here that will have Copilot built in. And this one is Microsoft OneNote, a great way to keep organized with notes and many other things. Inside, you can see we have Copilot right here. Remember at the very beginning when I showed you the Copilot Lab, there was prompts that you could ask about OneNote in that. So give that a try if you're a OneNote user. Microsoft Loop, a fantastic co-creation experience that brings teams together to make it easy to work on content and plan, is the last app I want to show you that has Copilot embedded into it. And to access it, I'm just already on a page here in Microsoft Loop, and I'm just going to go, just like Microsoft Outlook, hit the / and you're going to see draft page content. Right away, you can see how it's a great ideation place where you can create, brainstorm, blueprint, describe, and you can work together with your team to really push the ideas forward. If you haven't tried Loop before, I'll put a link to my tutorial on that up above in the card. Let's move over now to the last part of just taking a look at Copilot Chat again. Now I'm back where I started this video at, the Copilot for Microsoft 365. And what I want to point out is the toggle between work and web. So with the Microsoft 365 account, that if you have it for work or school, you should be able to toggle back and forth. Now, right now I'm under work, and notice that we have what has Ashton been up to. This was my prompt when I was in Microsoft Teams, and it carries through. This right here works the same as what I saw Copilot in Microsoft Teams when I'm under the work. If I move over to the web, this is where I'm going to be looking externally. And there's lots of great things that it can search for, just like any of the AI, what it can search up, create for you, whether it be creating tables, This is what the general public, if they don't have an account, would look like. But under the work one, do remember that you can go searching through all connected files and people working on different projects inside your organization. So if I was going to go get key info, if I click on it, notice that I can go and pick a file. If I pick a file and find those key points and hit submit, it will go through, it connects it to where this file lives in OneDrive, and then it will go through and sum this up for me. So here's the key points that it pulled out of it, and it has the reference to that file. So you can see this one came from a SharePoint site here. Now we can use this in a lot of different ways. I really like this as search. It seems like an easier thing to search through different files, and it really helps me to see what I'm looking for, and it also links the file and different messages as part of it. So make sure you take advantage of this. I do want to point out, if I go over to just my normal Microsoft 365, I've logged in, we have Copilot here too. This will do the same thing. Notice that we have the question, what was Ashton up to, over here, plus the same prompt idea. So there's different ways to get to the same place. I hope this video has given you insights how Copilot works for Microsoft 365 and the importance, how this just ties everything so nicely together to make everything more efficient. Let me know what you think. I'll have more videos as Copilot updates. Thanks for watching this time on Teachers Tech. I'll see you next time with more tech tips and tutorials.